So we are back with Shawn Garrity. As I promised, he is the CEO of SRII, and we are going to talk about more about what's going on at SRII and just different things that you've been exploring with Jay and UNLV. And why don't you say hello? And Shawn, just tell everyone a little bit more about you first before we jump into that.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. And obviously, welcome, Jay, and thank you so much for being a guest on Lisa's program. Really recognize and appreciate the great work you're doing, Lisa.
Thank you.
Look, obviously it's in dynamic and exciting times, not just that it's the holidays. I'm not saying we're certainly out of COVID. We're talking about the tridemic now. I don't know if you heard this one, but it's the flu, it's COVID, and that's a whole nother.
You just gave it a name that I didn't even know
I heard it
existed.
Today.
Really?
The tridemic.
Oh, wow.
That's
okay.
for everything.
Yeah, and obviously it's all very concerning,
Yes.
and we have to all be very careful, especially when we think about large-scale events and the welfare of students and academics, all the things that Jay faces every day with his peers. But no, this is an exciting time, and as we look at things from SRII's perspective with Omnichannel guest experience and engagements and intellectual property development, we recognize the great work that Jay and UNLV have been doing on their side of the equation. Much like, as you know, from Jay's background being in collegiate athletics, both as an athlete and in the business of college sports, and then from an academic perspective, the world offers a lot of great challenges and opportunities today. I've had the experience and the pleasure of being through college athletics playing, and then being on the fall college advisory board at Syracuse University in a very similar space. And Jay and I have had the pleasure to speak with one another here for the last quite a few months, and also bringing in some of our peer experts in the field to talk about opportunities in sports, entertainment, innovation, both with cause, business, and supporting the academic curriculum and goals, objectives of different universities, different stakeholders, et cetera. So really appreciate the work Jay and his team have been doing, and from SRII's perspective, looking at consumer, media, brand, entertainment, how can we shape viable initiatives and programs that obviously support a business objective, but at the end of the day, lift all boats from a cause philanthropic perspective, engaging and exciting students and academics, and also bringing together media and brands into some compelling ways that can bring value. So really have enjoyed building a good friendship with Jay, and we've had some nice collaborative discussions with quite a few parties, and we think 2023 is a big opportunity to do some things together, continue to build upon our friendship, and maybe bring in some great stakeholders and partners in different business categories.
Okay. I want to ask you kind of more of a question that I asked Jay earlier.
He went to Notre Dame, by the way. They're smarter. Don't make it tricky or hard.
We talked about his path, and you were also an athlete.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about that? Because we really talked a lot about, first gens, which is what they're big on at UNLV, and the fact that he started that way and became the chief operating officer. And how about you?
Yeah.
I mean, how did your path took you? Like, how did it take you to where you are as CEO of SRII?
It's funny, and thank you for the question. I've had, really, as I mentioned, building a great friendship with Jay, a lot of respect for him, and had the pleasure of meeting his father, his mother, and especially his mother, talking about from first generation now to his peers, and his mom going to college and graduating. That's really an amazing story. As I'd mentioned earlier, we were discussing, speaking before you got on, my parents did not go to college, and for me to be able to go, it wasn't even a goal of mine. But my brother went to college. My oldest brother, both brothers went to college, and had very successful academic trajectories. So we're proud of our family taking that next step. And for being a college athlete, I didn't have a goal of being a college athlete. I was going to go into the military. I was a military brat. Never had a goal to be a student, let alone go to college. And then athletics started to happen, and I started getting recognition as an athlete that, hey, you could probably go play college sports, football. So that's when it wasn't necessarily a goal to go to college. It was just, okay, well, I guess maybe that's something you're supposed to do. So from there, getting recruiting attention and getting to the right opportunities, I ended up going to Syracuse University. And I say it clearly to anybody, I was a good student, not a great student. And just to be a student, I would have never have been able to go to a BC or a Syracuse or some of these other amazing institutions. So it was a gift, and from there I didn't squander that. You know, I saw that through peers how important education was in the whole collegiate experience, especially when you bring athletics into it.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate in that way, and I told Jay my joke when the Fall College invited me to go visit them with all these amazingly accomplished alumni from Syracuse. And the first thing I told him was I graduated Lordy Outcome. I was not the great student at Syracuse in the way that some of them may have been, but I think my experience there through what I was taught through our coaches and my peer players, and I may have gotten some things they didn't. So again, as Jay and I both sit here together, I think the trajectories are similar, but I think Jay understood at an earlier age how important academics were and what that vehicle could provide to him. So again, the two of us working together and looking at things we can do that make a difference is something that certainly I'm very proud of. And I think for Circle too, this is something that we believe in and it means something to us.
And how did you two meet?
Well, ironically, you talk about good things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Building seeds. I was speaking with the Fall College with a couple of the professors and some of the top people in that department at Syracuse about sponsoring kids and the professors to come out here for a Las Vegas experience that I was going to do personally. And then from there, the conversation started to gain some momentum because we wanted to open up more avenues for our students to have more experiences, get internships, and then ultimately employment. And Las Vegas is not an area where we have a lot of penetration, just like for UNLV. I mean, if anyone has a handle on this city, it's obviously UNLV, rightfully so. But if you look back east, there are opportunities on Madison Avenue, as we call it, for UNLV. So it is really all about starting with something that is about kindness and helping, and then from there you start to build. So to your question, we have a similar shared friend named Dale Eels. He's been at Las Vegas events, the Sports Entertainment Commission for the city forever. But I was going over there, told him what we were doing and bringing the Syracuse guys, and he said, "Hey, you got to meet Jay." He said, "Would you mind if I brought him?" And that's really where this all started, and it's been picking up momentum ever since.
So it kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier, where you ask about the journey and where the journey takes you. And so, but if you're consistent in that journey, you just never know what's around the corner. And so the vision that we have in place as far as being that global intellectual hub of sport and entertainment, I've shared that vision with different people, Dale being one. And so when Dale talked about Shawn and some of the interest they have with Syracuse and what they were doing, we saw some synergy.
Yeah.
And again, not knowing what was around the corner, this was a call I received probably later the evening, really after hours, and by...
It was very organic, right?
Very
It
organic,
all happened.
very organic. But you know what? When good people know other good people, they want all good people to get together.
Yes.
And so that synergy was the first step was, hey, this is a good person. You should meet this other good person. What do you think?
Yeah.
And not knowing the entire topic or what that meant at the time, that's all I need to hear from Dale. And so from there, I went to the meeting, and he was right. There was some good people there. We had some shared energy, also a shared vision for our students and creating platforms that can enhance our student lives.
Okay. Have you worked with other schools before? Has Circle done that in the past?
Yeah, we've actually worked with quite a few.
Okay.
I personally have been involved in some programs working with the rights holders through athletic programs, quite a few of the major universities through their different departments and decision-making avenues. We've done some facility design build work at your alma mater, University of Tennessee. I actually put in that big video board that's in your stadium.
Really?
I did.
I didn't even know that.
That's, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, Mitsubishi's, those big ones in the stadium, I put one of those right up in Neyland Stadium. Several years back. So
very cool.
Love campuses, really appreciate the mission and what's happening there. So love the opportunity anytime I can to engage in campus opportunities, university partnerships, and other types of programs.
You've done some things at Syracuse too, correct?
Yeah, we've done some things in the Newhouse School. We did the branding and the whole lobby build out for the Fall College itself. Been engaged in some programs, funding, endowment, and donations at Technology Center at the Fall College. Also endowed some programs at the athletic department in their football locker rooms. So, again, it's all. I'm very proud of the opportunity Syracuse University gave me and my family, and I've always wanted to, wherever I could, kind of grow the ability to support them and give back, but also leverage relationships there as it's appropriate.
So here in Vegas, I mean, we're obviously, there's the sports industry is growing, right? Started with the NHL, and then we have NFL and baseball and basketball. Do you think NBA is going to happen?
Well, I think we'll have two opinions. I'll let Jay share his first, and then I'll share mine.
I think the possibilities are endless as relates to different teams coming to Las Vegas.
Okay.
I know whether you read the paper or you just hear the word on the street, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
I think the opportunity is there, and I think a pathway has been created through the Golden Knights, the Aces, and the Raiders that you can be successful here in the city. And success for these professional organizations isn't about, just on the field, it's generating revenue. And so I think there's a model through the collaborations that we have with our, with the industry that's already established, which is hospitality and entertainment. It allows people to really understand exactly the opportunities for fan engagement, the opportunities for experiences, which is why on our campus, and I would say our VP of Economic Development has created the term the fun economy, which is where you have sports, tourism, and entertainment make up 15% of the world economy now. This is the first time ever that we've had those different percentages, whereas sports makes up 1%, 4 to 5% is entertainment, and 10% is tourism. So when you think about that, and there's only one place in the country, in the world, that capitalizes on every aspect of that, and which is Las Vegas. And so I think that opportunity for other sport organizations that will want to be here, whether it's through, Pac-12 basketball conferences or any other collegiate venue, any other collegiate competitions, they're starting to come here because it's already a true destination spot. But then we've also showed other professional sport leagues what it's like to really put on an entertainment venue and a show and to engage with the patrons that are there. So, and also generate revenue. And we do it in a very unique fashion.
Now you know why I let Jay go first,
Yeah.
and that's why that's how amazing the talent and the people are at UNLV. This is what their students get the access, the insight of the access to. I'm going to give it a simple follow-up. What Las Vegas wants, Las Vegas gets. Las Vegas wants it, and I think it's just a matter of time. So, and that's what I love about this city, is just the can-do excitement that if they want it, it's all methodical now. The support's there, and I can certainly tell you the NBA wants to be here. Who doesn't want to be in this market? So,
Right.
And it all started back with the NBA All-Star Game years ago. That was a big move at that time, and it was a flirtation of how can sports get closer to gaming, or in hospitality. So I'll go with what Jay said and just say what we want, we get.
So how do you think, I experienced this in Nashville, right? When we saw the growth from the NFL, NHL, and so on, but we don't have an NBA team. And I think we're getting a major league, but, we'll see. I say we because that's where I grew up.
Sure.
And I'm seeing that, but for us, I think it affected the most is the community. Right? Because this has been a destination city for around the world, people from around the world, and the community was always, I remember flying and people were, when they asked where do you live, I'm like, Las Vegas. I'm like, you live there? Kind of a thing, right? So I'm just curious, like, what your thoughts are with the community-wise, like in 5 years or 10 years, how do you think this city's going to be?
Well, look, I think what's interesting, and you bring up Nashville. I had a friend in from Nashville over the weekend, and a lot of good friends down there, amazing places, I think it's almost an inverse contradiction or an inverse path. This has always been known as kind of a transient city looking for an identity.
Right.
And I think Nashville is not a transient city fighting to retain an identity with all of LA, and a lot of the people moving in are coming so fast and strong. Nashville's saying, don't change us. And I think with sports at the time, I think it certainly was a big community booster. Here, I really cite the Golden Knights. As tragic as Route 91 was, and we were a city that was a state that was hurting. And I think when the Golden Knights started and had the start they did, I think that was a love affair because it helped a morning city come together, express our pride in our community that, you know, that tragedy unfortunately brought light upon. And I think that was healing, and I think that love affair has only built and grown from there. So the Raiders and a lot of these other things, F1, you know, it's just a proud city that is showing the world that we are a community. And I think it's helped us to bring that together. So I think sports, entertainment more than anything has done that for us over the years.
And I would add that I've always felt sports is a perfect metaphor for life because of in the uniqueness that you can't win by yourself. It takes, in sports you go through trials, tribulations, wins, but you do it together, right? You laugh and cry when you win, and you cry when you lose, but you do it with someone, either with their arms around you. And sports actually shows you how to do that in a lot of ways. So I think that's where, going back to Shawn's point, we saw that through the Golden Knights and how our city wrapped their arms around that, but also you've seen it throughout time in this city already. You know, when the Running Rebels won the national championship, you saw the city wrap their arms around the university then, and you'll continue to see that as our Running Rebels right now are 10-0. But first time to be undefeated since 1990.
That's great.
Go UNLV.
Yeah, but when you look at it from that standpoint, I think sports does that. It allows people of different walks of life to come together and have a common cause and a common goal. And I think that's something that we can do. We need a lot more of it, and just in other aspects of our life as well. But sports does that for us.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's that 2 to 4 hours where you could put your differences aside and you have a great time and you root for your team together as a family, really.
That's it.
So,
That's it.
I agree. Okay. So Shawn, what is the upcoming fun things you want to share with us that's going on with Circle and also with the company? You know, it's growing.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. No, thank you. Well, look, obviously, you look at the last couple of years, I guess we'll call it here, just under, and I remember sitting by the convention center, that brand new expansion, and we were just about to do the first event ever at the Caesars expansion with Adobe, with a big private event, so making history, and we go from there to everything's shut down.
To nothing.
And as sad and as tragic as all that was, and looking at it from a business perspective, I'm just sitting in my car staring at that 2 million square feet, and I'm saying, can we make it through this? And can we get through it as a business, just like a lot of other of our peer companies were trying to figure out at the time. And all I kept coming up with is everything that was happening, everything that was coming, Las Vegas, made the decision at that time, no matter what, we're gonna get through it. Whatever it takes, we're gonna do it. We're not just gonna do it, we're gonna reshape and rebrand and reimagine everything we were and come out stronger, however that was going to be. And I have a lot of appreciation for our partners and our people, and we've been very happy that a lot of our people have come back, and we've also brought in some great new talent across the board to support the company we've become. So first of all, we're very thankful for being able to be here, what our partners have done from a sacrifice perspective, our clients that stuck with us. I can tell you, when we had work going on everywhere when it just stopped, and I could give you stories of what our clients did to help us, understanding, empathetic, to get through things. We had one of our biggest clients, selling a show out, and we said, look, here's the settle out, here's what we're sending back. And an hour later they called back and said, we're with you, we appreciate how fair you were about it, you're good. And it was a substantial amount of money, and those are the stories that we'll never forget. But looking at it now, we're very excited about 2023. Had a really successful growth year in 2022. So again, excited about the future. We love the company we have become. We're very proud of our people. And as I look at Jay, and we talk about some of these things that are worth exploring, and some of the things that we're really working on together, we think there are some things for 2023 and beyond to build upon, to launch, and we think there could be some amazing things ahead. So very excited about 2023 and beyond.
Okay.
I agree.
You want to add to that?
No, I think he, a little bit. He hit the nail around the head. I think there's a lot of excitement for 2023 and beyond. There's the opportunity for great collaborations, and as I stated earlier, to have a common goal of, one, how do we open the world up to what we do here in Las Vegas within the spaces of sports, entertainment, research, those type things. What does that look like? I think the world needs to see it and understand what we do here, but also open up those opportunities for our students, our faculty, not only if it's UNLV, but also other campuses like Syracuse, for example. I think these are ways that we can expand beyond what I guess would be the usual, is thinking outside the box. And it's great to be able to collaborate with a company led by Shawn, where you have the ability to think outside the box and to try new things and to explore ways that we can, that not only would benefit our community, but also our students. Yeah. So I think that's what I'm really excited about, is creating these new friendships, not just business partnerships, but it's been friendships as well. I think that's the best way that we move forward. I think Shawn and I already have a special connection because he was an offensive lineman, I was a running back, and so he's always had my side. So that feels good from that standpoint. So we can definitely relate on that. But no, it's just been overall, it's been just a great opportunity, and I think what we've done is laid the foundation to what can be some really fruitful opportunities for us in the future.
Thank you, Jay.
I feel like I've learned a lot too from our discussions right earlier and what you're saying, and I didn't know a lot of the things that were happening, you know, in school at UNLV actually, and also what's going on in sports right now. The stats that you mentioned, and that's really good, right?
Yeah, I think one of the challenges that we have and opportunities is that on our campus, our city's growing so fast. Every year, who's the fastest growing city is Las Vegas. Yeah. And this isn't to talk about any other school or city, but typically in a college town, that's not necessarily, the university is not probably in the best part of that state in some regards. Meaning that, so that city or that town really depends on that university to grow. Whereas we depend on our city to grow, and our city grows really fast, and actually sets the standard in a lot of different categories of what a city should look like. And we're very fortunate that our city also says, well, we're growing, but we need you to continue to grow, UNLV, so let's go. And with that, we're trying to keep up.
That is such a good point.
Yeah, we're keeping up with talent, we keep up with students. We have over 31,000 students. Oh, wow. People aren't aware of that as well, so we're growing as fast as our city is growing, because our job is to answer the need of our community. And our community needs a great workforce, our community needs smart people, and we can bring in that talent not only from our student population but also through our faculty. And so that's how we continue to support what's happening, whether people know all the stats that we talked about today. I guess I want to leave here today making sure that people understand that we're behind the scenes on so many different areas, whether it's through our students working, different departments being ranked in the top 10% of their respective categories, or us writing white papers to make sure that people understand the integrity of gaming, which allowed the NFL to loosen their grip and allow the Raiders to move here. So these are things that we've done, which has actually changed the dynamic of our economy and what we do here in Las Vegas.
Thank you. And if everyone wants to learn more about UNLV, the website would be?
sportsresearch.sites.com. But I would just say go to our main website as well. And learn so much about what we do across our entire campus. I think that's where you start first, is going to unlv.edu.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I think with that, by the way, you have a lot of young adults, you have a lot of professionals that have gone back to school, and you've got a lot of parents that have children that have never been to school. So I couldn't emphasize enough, if you're a business out there in the Las Vegas, Nevada community, or if you're across the country, support your universities. Look for internships. You know, internships with pay obviously mean a lot, and it helps to grow lives, grow your community, and you'll find some of your best talent you've ever had to grow your companies over the years. So I couldn't encourage people enough. Go to your universities, go to the departments, find interns and support that process. It's invaluable, and you'll find that you'll be a better company for it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Very thankful for both of you as friends and colleagues, and life's a gift.
Absolutely.
Forge ahead. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you all for listening, and please make sure that you tune in to wearecircle.com and our Circle podcast, not only on YouTube, but available on Spreaker and iHeart. Till next time.